and they don't mean it. Most often they're trying to protect you. Most often they're just not familiar with the gift that has been given to you. But if you block that noise and you reset your mind and affirmations affirm that you are who you believe that you are, and know that your immediate audience is not always your primary audience. So I would say cancel the noise, reset your mind to believe that is actually possible. And when you change your community, and when I say change, I'm not saying relocate, sell your house, I'm saying shop your purpose to the right people. And they, as you are today, in this moment, you have every single thing you need to fulfill your purpose and your destiny. Stop believing that I need money, I need this, I need resources, no, you have enough right now in you, in this present moment, to be exactly what someone else needs somewhere else. So that's my advice to you is block all the noise, keep your gift close to you, and share it with the people that will appreciate you. And sometimes that require a change of venue.
That was really, really good. That was real good. I like that. Okay, somebody else had came off their mic. And could you announce your name when you come off the mic so we'll know who's speaking? Who's next?
Yes, my name is Darlene. I had a question. I'm so glad that we had this opportunity. Um, for long life, singing has been a part of my life and a part of my family. And so it's something that we did all the time, whether in the car, whether at the house, whether church, wherever we going, it's like sing, sing, sing. But I've tried to do other things in life because it just seemed like it was just a thing. And not realizing that that specific thing of worship God has given to be a strong gift to be shared in the earth. And so just trying to fathom in my mind that that is the purpose. That is the one of what major purpose in my life has been a little challenging. I think because of the warfare sometimes that I've experienced, but getting back to that because it's like you ask God, what is your purpose? And He constantly answers you. And you can possibly look over because you're still looking for something else. And it could be something, I'll say simple, but a song is not simple. But it could be something as simple as a song, a gift of song. And thank you for making it clearer on to today. But I wanted to ask, how would you um, make steps towards just using your gift to God's glory and it being a source of income or increase?
Wow, that's a really good question, and it's a lot to unpack. But you said something that was very profound, and I want to allude to that. Is you said that God answers your prayers when you ask for your purpose. What we tend to do as believers is we pray to God and we ask Him to do things for us. And then when He shows you a vision, it is so big, it is so huge for you to process into its manifestation that you begin to suppress the answer that He had given you because you don't see it as being possible. So you measure God's blessing and Him giving you the vision, you measure it by your credit score. But you shouldn't measure it by your credit score because if God is giving you a vision and you truly believe that it's possible, then use His credit because He has co signed on the possibility. And stop suppressing the prayers that are being answered. So I give you an example. That's a really good question. I give you an example. During the pandemic, I'm a production company owner, and we travel. I'm a traveling engineer, and I travel throughout the country doing concerts and venues and things of that nature. During the pandemic, The business was completely shut down. I had no revenue coming in, nothing going on, and I started this whole platform, this radio station, online digital radio station. And I started out with about 20 people listening across the country. And God had given me a vision that you're going to be heard worldwide. And I kept that to myself. But what I did not do, as I did before, is I didn't use my credit, because I know my credit limit wouldn't get me across the world. I just believed in the vision that he had given me. And I stepped into it. I stepped into it with the mindset that it's possible. And I was hungry. And even though the vision that was given to me was radical and didn't appear to be tangible, I still believed. And I walked in that spirit of excellence. And within 2 years, I went from 25 people to 200,000 listeners. I'm in 7 different countries. It's not that I'm any different than any of you. It's not that I'm extraordinary with all these gifts that we all have access to these gifts. But it's the mindset of the ability for it to be possible. It starts with you. It starts with you. So how do you turn your passion, your talents, and your gifts, how do you turn it into something that becomes resourceful? Is that you may not like this answer, you give it away. You serve those people that need you. See, a lot of us make the mistake of trying to force people to recognize our gifts and our talents. So we're selling and we're pitching our gifts to, we want people to want them. But there are people that need your gift. You are a solution to the right audience. So when you give away your gift to the right audience, it begins to make room for you. See, the old saying is your gift will make room for you. I just want to add something to that. It will make room for you if you're in the right room. So if you're trying to cultivate God's gift and nurture God's gift in the room of people that are not believers, then it's not going to necessarily expand beyond that room. So find the room that you should be in. Find the room that needs you, that you are a solution to, and that you are a blessing to, and then it becomes resourceful. And then you can have them write you checks. And you don't have to necessarily ask their offer, and it will cultivate itself. And then we'll get into the business side. But to get started, get into the right room, get in front of the right audience, and believe that it's possible, and stop asking for permission for what God has already given you. You don't need it.
Wow. Yes, love it. Who's next?
Good morning, this is Takesha. He may have kind of answered my question just a minute ago. My question is, once you realize what your purpose is, how do you transition from the 9 to 5 to get more into doing your purpose? Because when you're living and you're not living in and on purpose, it is very frustrating, and especially knowing God has created you more than working on a 9 to 5 job.
That is a good question, and I did answer part of it, but the other part of it is the transition. Most of us have 9 to 5s, and that's been the biggest struggle. I would say 90-something% of America want to be entrepreneurs, but don't know how to detach. So there's a system, as I said earlier, that teaches us to become employees, not employers. That system is what we follow. So what happens is we build our life on a system, and then we end up engulfed in this system. So now we're trying to figure out, how do we answer this nudge to be an entrepreneur when I have to still be accountable for my lights being on, for my responsibilities, my day-to-day functionality? And that is a really, really good question. The question you should ask yourself is, how bad do I want it? I tell people the biggest cheat sheet of America is treat yourself the way your employer treats you. If you take your life and your desire and your passion and your gift as serious as you took your job, so that means that you have a requirement. You have to be to work at 9 o'clock. You take a lunch break at noon. You get off at 5. If you can't make it, you have to call in. See, I take the template of my employer and then I employ myself. So when I go to work 9 to 5, what I do is I find a way to give myself a part-time job. No, it's not going to pay me right away. So I allow a specific amount of time per day or per week or whatever time that you have available. And I treat myself like an employee. And what I do is I nurture, I study, I research, I imagine myself in that position. And what happens is, and this is how I transition. I was working 5 days a week. And what I did is, when I got off, I would spend 3 to 4 hours working on me. And I did that every day. And then I told my job, I only want to work 4 days. And I took that 5th day and worked the same schedule they had me work. I took the same lunch break. I take the same breaks. And then when I started making more, I say I only want to work 3 days. I only want to work 2 days. I just started minimizing the days at work because my talent and gift had started paying me the same thing that I was making every day at my job. But it only works if you take you serious. You have to take you serious and treat yourself like a business and be serious about your business. And get into the right circle, get a coach, find out who's doing exactly what you want to do. Align yourself with those people and volunteer if you have to. But by all means, take the system that you're embedded in and start creating it for yourself and take yourself serious, because it's definitely possible.
That's so good. Okay, guys. So, this is good information. Who's next? Okay, so let's move on to another area. So, Richard is my mentor, and my struggles have been my emotional intelligence, right? So I'm often emotional about things. And so y'all seen me have my outbursts before. And so he's guided me on how to control that. As an entrepreneur, as a leader, we have to be able to control our emotions. So, Richard, can you talk a little bit about emotional intelligence?
That is probably, that's a very good question, Bridget. If you do not have emotional intelligence, and this does not mean that you're not intelligent, some of us are knee-jerky with our emotions. Most people make emotional decisions. And when you make most emotional decisions, most of the time they derive from a place of feelings, not facts, of feelings, right? So I teach people that I coach that in business, that a business does not have feelings. People interject feelings into business. So I'm just going to ask everybody to think for a second. Before you make a decision, ask yourself, is this a business decision? Is this a personal decision? Is this an emotional decision? It doesn't matter where it falls, but at least you can have the wherewithal on how to respond, knowing what you're responding to. In my business, what I face a lot of is pricing, right? So the price to do business with me is I'm a high-end premier company. So we do high-end type of work. When I meet you at the door, most people, companies, people, other organizations, they start off with their pain point right before they hire me. They start telling me about their financial destitute and how they're trying and they're afraid of the price and things of that nature. They're tugging on my emotions. So if I show apathy, then I'm selling myself for less than my value. And this is where packaging, and I teach this in my business course. I call it the 3P effect, which is people, purchase, packages. So in my packages, there's a full price, there's a percentage for friends and family, there's a percentage for those who that may be struggling with their budget, but there are different packages for them to choose from. So I don't care how emotional you are, I'm going to send you all the packages, and you can make that emotional decision based on what you see before you. But I don't get caught up into the pity parties and the emotions, because businesses don't have feelings. People do. When I have to pay my rent, my overhead, my employees, I cannot go there with an emotional statement saying, I'm sorry, I can't pay you because Bob and Sue and this happened. I can't do that. So I will not lead with that. So you have to understand that if you're going to be an entrepreneur or anything that you do not make decisions solely from your emotions. Make them from a place of solidarity. And if you're a business, already be prepackaged. Know your costs. Never negotiate on feelings. Never negotiate when someone asks you. I don't do that. Ask me my price, I will not tell you. One-on-one, I will not tell you, because I don't know all the factors surrounding the services that you're requesting. So I'll ask you a series of questions via email, and based on the way that you respond to that, I'm going to respond to you professionally, not emotionally. And hopefully that kind of helps you guys understand the difference between doing emotional business, because when you respond emotional, you lose power. You lose power when you respond emotionally. You give that person your power. Keep your power inside you and be strategic in your response, not emotional.
Wow. Yes, I've learned a lot from him, guys. So I know when I'm emotional, I do not call him and like, guess what? Guess what happened? Because he don't have time for that. Get yourself together and then call and explain to me exactly what happened. And then we'll talk about it. But just going off of emotion, that's wasting energy and time, right? So get it together and, explain it in a way that I can understand it. And then we'll talk about it. So I'm getting there, y'all. I'm proud of myself. Okay, anybody else have questions? I know y'all got questions. Okay, Venetia.
Okay, so I just want to get the ways to that I would be responding. So it's emotionally, and can you give me the two others so I can write them down? I apologize.
Personally and professionally.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so emotional, if you think about it, most of the decisions we make are based on emotions. And if we can just take the emotional part out of it and be strategic in our response, we'll have a much better outcome. And that's the whole thing. If you're in your purpose, you can see this so much clear if you're in your purpose. So that's why it's very important to understand your purpose, because when you're operating in your purpose, you're very secure with what your value is. And no one could really shake you when you're operating in your purpose. But when you're outside of your purpose, a lot of that could be tampered with because you're not 100% sure. But what God called you to do, if you're operating in that, then you're really solid. Now the next thing is as you're being approached, understand that people are emotional, and you can have apathy, and you can have empathy, but you don't have to give yourself or your soul to someone else because they're not prepared to receive you. Never devalue yourself in any deal. Never devalue yourself in any deal. Already know what your boxes are. This is for family. This is for those who I empathize with. This is for charity. Know your different boxes and just let them choose on where they fit. Don't do it emotionally. I guarantee you it may hurt you.
That's really good. Yeah, that was good. Shelley?
Yes, I have a question. How do you correct emotional pricing? Let's say you gave somebody a price because they told you a story that they couldn't afford it. So you said, okay, I'll give it to you for half price. Then you go home and you think about it and you say, wait a minute, I just shorted myself. You want to go back and change the price. How would you do that?
Well, that's a tricky one in business. If it's not in writing, then you just be honest. You tell them that that you made a decision based on the moment or the emotion. You made an emotional decision. You be honest with them and said, when I got back to the shop or I got back to my office, I realized that I really, really underpriced the value of what it is that we're offering. I cannot do this for what I offered you. My apologies, but it's impossible for me to provide what you are requiring for this amount of money that I offer you. And then you be organic and you apologize, and then you stick with the new invoice or the new appraisal. But by no means should you pay for anyone to provide service for them. If it's costing you more than it's costing them, it's a hobby. It's not business.
That's good. A hobby, not business. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a question in the chat from Joe. She say, what if it's a place of understanding and received as emotional?
What if it's a place of understanding?
But it's received as emotional. Joe may need to come up and ask that question.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get her up. Okay. Somebody else had their mic open. Who's next? Okay, Joe.
I'd like to say. Okay.
Okay.
I'll wait till you. I'll let Joe go.
Okay, we'll go to Joe and then we'll come back to you, Mother Bonnie. Joe, could you ask your question, please?
Yeah, I wanted to know, if you want to understand why something was done, and the person dismisses what you said because they feel it was your emotions acting up, when you really genuinely want to understand why that was done.
So let me understand the question. You're saying that if someone is confused about the decision that you made?
Yes.
and you're trying to explain to them why you made the decision, and they're responding to you emotionally.
Actually, they're responding by not responding or questioning. Why did you ask that?
Are we speaking about business or just emotionally?
Emotionally.
You have to be solid on the decisions that you make, and if you're being fair and equitable in any conversation, whether it's personally business, if you're being fair and equitable and you're being true to your value, then you have to find a way to be unapologetic, but being diplomatic in your delivery. Because understand that just because someone doesn't understand doesn't mean that you should compromise your integrity, your value, and everything that's instilled in you. It's okay that everyone is not satisfied with the decisions that you make. When we get into the habit of people pleasing, we're entering that yellow red zone. Because when you're people pleasing, typically the needle never stops moving. So if you give way to them and their emotion, or you're trying to explain to them or articulate to them, then you're giving away your power. A lot of folks that I coach tend to try to do that. They make decisions and then they feel like they need to over articulate the decisions out of apathy, out of empathy. But if you're living into your true value and you're being your true self, then you can live unapologetically. The universe will answer those questions for you, if not now, at a later date. It's kind of like raising children. If you have to discipline a child, they don't understand in that moment. But then later on, they'll realize, I understand why you did that. Now it makes sense to me. So sometimes you just have to allow it to be what it is and don't lose your value over their emotion. And hopefully I was able to answer that question for you.
Yes, sir. That like a light bulb went off. Yeah, and I've been doing that most of my life, trying to explain my decisions, and then I'm just now getting to know who I am. So I just wanted to. That's confirmation. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, folks, be more intentional. If you're being fair, equitable, and integral, be intentional. Make sure you're being intentional. A lot of us, we lose our power, especially women, our women, beautiful, powerful women, because what happens is women tend to people please a little bit more than men. And what I notice is the more you thinking that is advantageous for you to give yourself and give your power away, the more powerless you render yourself. So as time goes on in life, you realize you have dedicated so much of your energy and your power to so many other folks. And then at some point, when you try to plug yourself in, it appears that the value in your light is not as bright as it should be because we have given so much. So much. It's okay. You can still be feminine. You can still be respectful. You can still be mindful. But remember, you are an individual. Out of millions of cells, you were chosen to be here, and you have a purpose. And your purpose is not to give away your purpose. Be purposeful, be intentional, and you can still exist in this world and coexist without people taking away your power. And what I'm hearing from you is that you're very apathetic. And the fact that you want to explain lets me know that you really care about people. My question to you now is, if someone really cares about you as an individual, then it will require less explanation on the decisions that you're making.
That was really, really good. I'm going to do a quick reset. Guys, we are talking about purposeful living, and we have with us a very special guest. His name is Richard Adams. He is the CEO of Megasource Entertainment Network. We're so excited he's here with us. He is also a business consultant, he's an entrepreneur, he's an author. And guys, we just are just so happy to have him answer these questions. And if you are looking at the top of the screen, I have posted a link to his network. It's the MSC network. And guys, today he is offering us a free ebook. And so we're not asking you for anything today. He's going to give you something. So if you would click in the link, and at the top of his page, you'll see ebook, and you can request that, and it's all yours free. And so I just thank him for doing that for us. And so, yeah. So we're so happy to have him here. And so we're going to continue. And so, guys, we welcome to the stage. We have Bishop Neal here with us this morning. And we also have Dr. Wayne T. Richards here with us this morning. And we're just blessed. I seen Dr. Marcus just come in. I'm going to invite him up. And oh, yeah, God bless you all. So we're going to go back to our questions. Anybody else have a question for Mr. Adams?
Yes, if you don't mind, I have a comment, Mr. Adams. I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and share such a rich plethora of wisdom to us, and I thank you for that. And I'd like to say that you said a couple of things. One was the part about that they need to implement purpose curriculums in the school, and I am in such agreement with that, not only in the school but also at the college and university level, because so many people go in and take general studies, and they keep on taking general studies because they're going because their parents have told them to go, and they got to go to college, and they really still don't know what they're doing. And that's a time where people are trying to find themselves and find their purpose. Another thing you said also is that oftentimes we would be used to help others. And that's what I did. I look back as you were talking, I started thinking. I've had friends that had, one friend had a school. I helped her to get her school. She had a CNA program. Another friend had a group home. I would go and help her to get set up with the group home and things of that nature, and even showed her. My daddy would do lawn services, and I showed her how I do a yard. She had a yard, that thing was so bald, but I told her, I said, you need to go to the feed store, get you some fertilizer, and come back. I tell you, that yard was so beautiful and gorgeous. Another person, one of my friends, was running for judge, juvenile court judge. So we put her in office on 2 occasions. And
Awesome.
also, I had the opportunity to help others to get their dreams off the ground and stuff like that. So I was still searching and asking God, where would you have me to be, Lord? What would you have me to do? And I like to decorate. As Bridget said, I'm a nurse by trade, retired nurse by trade, but I can take a shack and make it look like a mansion, Mr. Richard. And I would do that during the holidays. People needed their homes decorated. So I would do seasonal decoration and things of that nature. So you just brought such a wealth of information, and you just really had me to reflect on my life and think about the things that I've done for others and with others when I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do or where God wanted me to go. So I just thank you so much, and I just speak God's blessing upon you and ask God to open new doors of opportunity for you, and that you just keep on being prosperous and showing us the way.
Oh, thank you so much for those kind words. I appreciate you.
Bless you.
Okay, so who else would like to ask Mr. Adams either a business question, a purposeful living question, anything about what he does? Yeah, do we have questions? So, okay, I'm a start. Y'all let me ask all the questions. Okay, so Mr. Adams, I know that you do own the network. So tell us about some of the other ventures that you have.
Oh, wow. I have so many. Diversification is key. Diversification is key. So I am an owner of one of the largest audiovisual technical companies. Uh, we provide audio video services for corporations, for conferences, things of that nature. Some of the folks that we've uh, done work for is A. Philip Randolph Institute, um, all kind of unions, University of Michigan, Morehouse College, Clark. The list goes on and on. Um, we've done so much work throughout the country, down in Miami, Florida International University, so many other colleges and organizations, and we just provide services for them. And it's kind of how I end up with this channel, because during the pandemic, I just basically took the resources that I was using for them and I started using it for my channel. I have an online digital radio station. I call it a network because it's a conglomerate of all walks of life: doctors, attorneys, teachers, physical fitness instructors. All walks of life are connected to that network. And it's very resourceful. So for those people that are aspiring entrepreneurs, we have coaching. We have so many different things absolutely free. You come and listen to us, and we'll get you on your way. And that's the reason why that foundation was built. So there's a production company. There's the online digital radio station. I own a restaurant in Conyers, Georgia, a soul food restaurant. And I am also a coach and a consultant. And there's so many other things that I do within that, but that's the baseline of what I do.
That's so exciting. That is so exciting. And, you know, with being a busy person, I'm sure you have to prioritize and have time restraints. Can you talk about time priority?
Time priority is key. It's it's a big deal on being the person that you want to be. I see so many people wasting time, and not to offend anyone, but people have time for television shows. They have time for so many different things, and then they'll say, "I don't have enough time to do that. After I get off work, I don't have any time. I have the kids. I have all these different things." Time management is key. We have so much time in a day, and there's so much time that if we did an audit of the time that we waste, we'll realize we have so much more time than we think. With me being involved in all these different businesses, it is just a matter of me prioritizing what's significant and what's the allotment for that space. I'm intentional when I do things. If you're running a business or you're doing something within your home, pick a location where you go and do what you do. Don't run your business from your bedroom or from your bed if there's a second room. But if you're in your bedroom and you must do business, do it at a desk. Don't do it in your bed. Have a specific place and a specific time to worship, a specific place and a specific time to do work. Have different areas within your home, within your life. Carve out time and be intentional. If you have Alexa, tell her to remind you. If you have Google, tell Google to remind you. Set reminders, but most importantly, understand that nothing is going to come to those with excuses. I do not get engulfed in news, television, Netflix, because I'm the guy that I want people to watch. And in order to be the guy that people watch, I have to do what I'm doing off the set so that I can make it on the set. So as far as, triaging your time, understand, do an audit and see if you're serious about changing your life, if you're serious about a mindset shift, do an audit on where your time is going. Where's your money going? What are you doing with this? What kind of energy? If you're talking a lot on the phone, and you're not being compensated for that conversation, you're probably a coach and you don't know it. Maybe you ought to reconsider that conversation and add an invoice to it and add an allotment of time for it. But be specific and intentional on your time. And if you do an audit, I guarantee you, you'll find somewhere in there where there's a lot of waste unnecessarily. And women, for the girlfriends that only want to complain, and they take an hour of your time complaining, maybe you ought to do an audit and take that hour to give it back to yourself and self-develop.
Wow. He tells me that all the time, guys. I'm serious. So he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. Okay, so who's next? Who's next?
Hi, my name is Lorena, and this has been very interesting listening to this. This is my second time on this platform, so thank you for all this pertinent information. So my question is, going through my life as I'm a seasoned woman, and I am interested in writing a book about some things that I've endured in my life, what I went through, to share and help other women or people in general to get through and make it. And I didn't know how to get started with it. I've been a procrastinator for most of my life and just kind of sat back and listened, but now I need to step out and do something with my life to enjoy it my latter years.
Good. That's good. That is a really good question. And you know what? Thanks for being courageous and being transparent, because a lot of folks get stuck right there. A lot of folks get stuck right there. It's overwhelming to start that process. And this is where we get cluttered and we get the scrambled egg brain effect where everything's running together. And this is where I think coaching is very, very important, because what a coach does is help you prioritize where you need to be and where you need to start. And if you don't get a coach, my suggestion to you is use low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit basically means to me, where can you start tomorrow? Where can you start right now? Don't think about the whole book. Just think about the prefix. Think about the name. Do something intentionally every day towards your book. Don't think about writing the book. Think about the bullets in the book. Where do you want to start? Think about it. Write that bullet. Even if it's just one bullet a day. Each bullet could represent a chapter. By 30 days, you'll have enough chapters to have your book.
Okay, that's very good. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. I'm going through a divorce and everything, moving, and I just want to make a good step. And thank you for this information.
You're so welcome.
I also reached out to you, Ms. Lorena. I can help you getting started on your book as well.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you so, so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, that brings us to another question. What do you think about collaboration, Mr. Adams?
I think collaboration is key. Understand the difference between collaboration and partnerships. Understand the difference between collaborations and partnerships. A collaboration is like friendship. A partnership is a marriage. So, and I would treat them as such. So if you are not, in cahoots and you're not in love with your potential partner as it relates to entrepreneurship, do not get married, because a partnership is like a marriage in business. Collaboration I will co-sign on collaboration because it keeps you as an individual, as an independent person. You can still be whole when you collaborate. So, for example, if Bridget and I collaborated, she still has her own entity, and I still keep mine, and we're collaborating. But if we become partnership, then we're more intuitive. I'm a manager, she's a manager. We have to make decisions together. So you have to be very, very intentional on what direction you go. Collaborations are always key. And I really encourage you to collaborate with people. And I'm going to tell you why. The resources that you need within your organization is conducive to B2B, business to business. Why is that important? Because a lot of times we think we need a whole entire factory and we need all these tools, we need all these instruments. When the truth of the matter is we just may need to collaborate with someone that has something that I do not. Does that make sense to you, Bridget?
Yes, sir. I'm here with you. I'm just reading back channels and stuff.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, cool. This is so good. This is so good. Everybody is appreciating you. Thank you so much. So, okay, guys, who was next? Okay, well, I'll go. Okay, so Mr. Adams, can you share with us, have you had any failures in business? Have you gone through any type of failures?
Oh my God, this is a good question. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. I don't know any successful entrepreneurs that has 0 failures. This is my 8th business. This is my 8th, no, 9th. This is my 9th business. Out of all 9 businesses, only 2 are open. So I've failed at 7 of them. But my failures were not failures. I really wish we could change the derogatory feel of failing. Failing is, to me, an opportunity to have a brighter future on knowing what decisions to make and not make. For example, in school, a 70% is passing. But if I get a 60%, I'm considered a failure. And this is what the system teach. But the way I look at it is, if I got a 60%, I didn't get a passing grade, but I got a 60%. That means I'm 40% away from succeeding. So I take that 60% into my next venture because the 60% was 100% of 60%. So I take the 60% into my next venture and I'm only 40% shy. So why do we look at failure as such a derogatory statement? It is the proof that you can get some things right, but not necessarily all things. So failure should be welcome because it's part of the process. No, don't sign up to fail. Just understand it's part of the process. I would not be here speaking before you today had I not failed so many times. It's failure that put me in this position.
Okay, y'all, we got to ask the questions because we're only going to be here a little while longer. Who's next? Come on.
I have a question.
Okay.
It's Jelly. I have a question. What about that 5-year rule? They say you don't see your business flourish until 5 years. Does that still stand or is that a myth?
No, that still stands. Mine has been 10. Let me break that down for you. Okay, if you're going to file an LLC, I believe everyone listening to this conversation should have an LLC. Well, what if I don't have a business? You are the business. There's so many benefits to owning your own LLC. Name it your name, LLC. Joe Smith, LLC. And the reason why you should have an LLC, because the LLC establish your start date. So people are more inclined to do business with you when you have tenure. So I have about 18 years of tenure in my business. I failed most of those years. But then when you look me up, it says established in 2007 or something like that. The point I'm trying to make is when you start your business, understand that failure, and I'm going to actually repeat the question again.
Shelley, are you there? Did she?
The question is the 5-year rule.
5-year rule,
Is
okay.
Right.
Right. So what happens in 5 years? Okay. The government gives you about 3 to 5 years to be at a deficit. And the reason I started on that rant about LLC, because I think it's important, because it's a start date. So they're saying basically, based on statistical data, that most businesses will either survive or close within the first 3 to 5 years. And most people typically do. Failure doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't succeed. It just means that you probably didn't reach where you needed to reach. So within the first 3 years, they expect you to lose because it's part of the process. You have to build momentum within the first few years of having a business. And as you're building momentum, you're building clients, you're building revenue, you're building, but a lot of that's not going to be positive income. A lot of it's going to be negative, but it doesn't mean you're not making money. It just basically mean that you're not bringing in more than what you're putting out. And that's what they consider when you're filing your taxes on your liability company or your S corporation company, which means the incentive is for you to write off your losses. So if you put $5,000 into your business and your business didn't necessarily make any money, then they would allow you to write that off. So now basically you have a free business. So you're not losing the $5,000. What people typically do is they take their own $5,000 and they spend it on a website, cards, a logo, we do all this stuff, and then we're out of money, and we try to open a business with what little we've invested. And we do this year after year after year. And this ultimately causes failure because you're constantly pouring into your business. If you're not an LLC, you cannot write that off. The benefit of being an LLC is your failures or your deficits or your investments, everything that you pay for, the printer, the ink, the website, the consulting, the courses, everything that you're invested in the first 3 to 5 years, you can write that off. And that puts you back at zero. So it will be in your best interest to have an LLC and start your business because they'll give you back what you put into it for the first 3 to 5 years.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Mr. Richard, are we still good with your time?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, good. Okay.
Dr. Shelley.
I have a question.
Yes.
I wanted to know, how would you go about getting a book published? I mean, when I tell my story, everyone says, you need to write a book. Well, I've been writing journals since I would say in the 90s. And I've written it down, I printed it out, but I don't know how to put it in order and I just don't know where to start to make it come together. So who would I?
There are two places to go. One, you can get a ghost a ghostwriter. It sounds like you've hashed out and you've written your ideas, but you want them to be in book order, chronological order, and make sense and be an easy read. This is where you get an editor or a ghostwriter, and what they do is they take your script and they take the story and they make it make sense and they make it really easy for you to read. It is very economical for you to do that. Actually, Amazon is a place you can go, and then, you know, if you can get my information from Bridget, I'd be more than happy to help you through that process. A lot of people are not writing books because they're overthinking the process. If you've already gotten that far, your book is probably 75, 80% done. Now we're dealing with the editing and the publishing, and there's so many things you can do nowadays with technology. You can actually self-publish your own book without going through all the red tape, and it doesn't take but a couple of weeks to do this. So we need to have a conversation about that, but it sounds like you've done the bulk of the work. You just need editing and maybe a ghostwriter to kind of review the script for you, and you can self-publish and start selling your book probably in the next month or so.
Okay, Bridget, can you give me the information?
Oh yeah, I'll connect with you. I'll channel you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Adams is also being very shy, but I'm gonna tell it because he knows I tell everything, just like Bishop Neal know I tell everything. So he's also a music producer, y'all. He's a music producer as well, and he actually have an artist. Is Tammy Holloway? Is it T Holloway?
T. Holloway, yes.
Yeah, T Holloway, that he's produced. So check out her music. What's the name of the song she have out now? I love it. One plus one.
Yeah, that 1+1 and His Love Is True are the ones that are being played on the air, on the radio. His Love Is True.
Yep.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so Mr. Adams is the real deal, y'all. He is the real deal. So we thank him so much for being here with us this morning. We really, really, and he actually is simulcasting on his network right now. So he has people watching him as he's talking to us. So that's pretty cool. So anybody else have a question? Because we don't want to take up all his morning. I'm trying to get him to come back and be with us at least once a week to just have some conversation like this. What y'all think about that? My already getting back channel saying, yes, awesome, yes. So, yay. Okay, anybody else have a question?
Yes, good morning. This is Robin. God bless you, woman of God, and man of God, Richard. I was waiting to hear that part about music because I am a vocalist, and I am also a musician. I play tambourines and the scrub board. I'm old school. I just absolutely love it. Nice. And I was just listening to you. I just collaborated with a young man, Kevin Powles, out of New York City, with my tambourines on his album that's going to be coming out in September or August. So I just wanted to know if I can send you some things that I've done, by the Spirit of God. I am a gospel singer. I've sung other things, but I absolutely love gospel and inspirational songs.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to hear what you've done. Yes. Yeah, that's music is my passion. As she introduced me, I didn't speak much about the entertainment. I spoke more about the entrepreneurship, but my purpose have been to use media to motivate and to mentor. And that's my purpose. So I started my career, long story short, I remember telling my family in 2007 that I was going to be a music producer, a major production guy, an entrepreneur, and I was going to be heard around the world. And all I had was a laptop and two little small speakers. And they laughed at me. And I said, okay, fine. Remember what I said about audience. I have had the president, several presidents, of the United States speak on my PA system,
Come on.
right? So I've been in several different states. I've had Morgan Freeman. It goes on and on. Performed at my artist performed at Morgan Freeman's nightclub in Mississippi. I've been on large stages, thousands of people. You have to speak it into existence, and it starts with an idea, and then some creativity, some belief, and just get around the right audience. Because my folks laughed at me, but my resume is pretty deep. So I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that regardless of what may be around you, whatever you're doing, it may not be good enough for the immediate audience that you're with. Find the right audience, because people will take you serious, and there are opportunities outside of your network. So with your music and everyone that has a desire to do something, please don't stop. Do it. You'll be amazed.
Thank you.
You'll be amazed.
Thank you so much for that. Somebody just back channeled me. Mama Bonnie, I'm gonna get you. And I just, if it's okay, I just want to sing a little snippet, if it's okay.
Absolutely.
Lord, you are good. You've been so good. Lord, you are good. You are better than good. I can praise you, for you are good. I just want to say, I love you. I just want to say, I worship you. I just want to say, I love you. Lord, I love you. You are so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful to me. Lord, I love you. I really do.
Wow. Wow.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Wow.
Beautiful
What
voice.
a beautiful voice.
Amen.
Wow. Thank you, sister.
That was beautiful. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Robin. And yeah, y'all got just back channel me, y'all, and I'll get all that information to Richard. And oh my goodness, that was so beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting back channels to Richard, so you probably gonna have like 10 stars now. You're gonna be like, oh my goodness, we have so many people. Yeah, so he's a music producer. What else is going on with him? Oh, Bishop Neil. Bishop Neil say he gonna sing next. No,
Come on,
thank you, Bishop.
Bishop.
No. We not doing that. We ain't doing that. Not today. Okay. Don't put the eyes up. Don't put the eyes up.
If you gonna put me out there, you should have said what I was gonna, who I sound like. Since you're telling it all.
Y'all, but you know what? We thank God for Bishop Neil being with us today. It's a blessing. And, I'm loving this room because it's laid back. And, Richard was saying about family, how sometimes we don't feel supported. But, y'all, his mom, when he's on the air, she is in the chat. And she's like, that's my boy. I love him. His mom is his biggest fan. I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you. So, yeah. So, anybody else have a question?
Dr. Bridget, I wanted to have comment and ask a question. I'm still stuck when Mr. Richard spoke about drowning out the noise because I'm moving, but I'm listening. And then when he talked about the collaboration versus the partnership, and I wanted to kind of like ask him, that's where I'm at, Mr. Richard. I'm trying to drown out the noise, but when you stop responding maybe to things that you know really don't matter, in which you begin to see them as petty. And I am a very compassionate, empathetic person, and I want to see everything go good for other people and with me. I just know that the Lord's going to take care of me. That's my mindset previously, but now I feel like some of this stuff I don't want to be a part of it anymore. I don't want to hear it. If it starts and I'm around, I want to exit. But some people, they don't understand that, and they are saying that I've changed. No, I haven't changed. But when you talked about drowning out the noise, because that's what it's beginning to hear. I'm beginning to hear a lot of noise, and I'm even beginning to feel in some spaces, like sandpaper. I'm even feeling it on my emotional. I could say my physical. It feels like sandpaper, and then the collaboration versus the partnership. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for that. That was so enlightening. I yield.
Nice question. Nice comment too. Um, to add to the noise, um, if it feels like sandpaper, it's actually a blessing. And the fact that they say you are changing, that's God's glow, right? So you should receive that, and don't apologize for that, because it's not that you're changing, you're growing. Your season is changing. And don't let someone stop you from entering into a new season, because they may not be included in the new season. And that doesn't mean that you have to divorce or stop speaking to. Just understand it's time to level up, and you're being nudged. So that sandpaper feeling is God's way of making you uncomfortable. So it's time to move. And you can't take everyone with you. And you won't take everyone with you. They'll fall off on their own if you just stay focused. And the noise, when people start saying to you that you change, that's a true indicator that you're doing something right. And it's exposing them, not necessarily you. So evaluate who's in your immediate circle. Because when I started hearing that rhetoric about you change, yes, it's time. I'm leveling up. You're either with me or you're against me. But I can't stay here because it's not beneficial for me. So, me changing, I embrace because I change for the better. And understand that some people are going to be left behind, if not physically, emotionally, mentally, and theoretically speaking, you're going to have to leave some people behind. And that's okay, because maybe they're not a part of the next part of your destiny. Your whole life is destiny building, and it's time for the next season for you. So I would embrace it, because eventually you will change, and it will be for the better. And if they don't accept you evolving, they're not your audience.
That was really, really good.
Yes, sir. Amen. And by the way, I am from Mississippi.
All right, I was on the Gulf Coast recently. I love Mississippi. That's my second home. Nice.
That was really good. Thank you so much, Richard. Bishop Neal, did you have a question?
I did. I wanted to say thank you to Pastor Charlotte for that, because it was leading me into a piece um, about moving into the next that some people won't go. How do you prepare, or should you prepare others um, for the next level that they're not going to with, for the simple fact that there are some who think they're going, but they're not going. So how do you not ruin those relationships, but at the same time, say, hey, this level is not for everybody, uh, or do you even suggest that conversation is had?
That is a very, very, very good question. How do you prepare those around you for not being able to transform or transition into the next level? You don't. What you do is you move in the spirit of excellence. And as you're moving in the spirit of excellence, you will be removed from that environment and they will fall off. And I've had that even on my platform where I've had several staff members, and out of those staff members, as we were elevating, others were falling off. And it's not that anything was done to them. It's just that our season, as it began to blossom, it made them so uncomfortable that they did not want to partake. So I didn't have to ask them to leave. Since I've started this online platform, I haven't fired anyone. Everyone that needed to go left. And it not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe it was a different season for them, but it was definitely a different season for me. So if you continue to pursue and move in the spirit of excellence, everything around you that should not be will start to dissipate. I promise you, it will vanish. People will remove themselves. And then grace will put you exactly where you need to be. Just move in the spirit of excellence.
Wow. On that, we will let Mr. Adams have the rest of his day, but we want him to catch us up on his network and when we can check him out so we can watch him on his network. Mr. Adams.
Yes. I have an online platform, a digital radio station. I am on every Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'm just speaking, just like I'm speaking to you guys. I am bringing positive nuggets, positive information, free information. And on Saturdays, we play music. But also on Wednesdays, I have a civil rights advocate. She comes on and she speaks about social justice and everything that's happening in our country, keeping us abreast on what to do, who are the officials that are running. And then I have a doctor, Dr. Marcia, who she's an empowerment coach for specifically women. And she's a business coach, life coach, but she's also a physician as well. So she covers a whole lot of topics. And there's another guy by the name of Dave Curtis, gives us free exercise. He gets us fit on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday mornings. So Tuesday and Thursday, it's at 6 p.m. And he gives you this free workout. You just tune in and you do the exercises with him. It's low impact, and it's a really good thing that we're doing. So we're offering so many different resources right here. The website is the MSE Network, the MSE Network, msenetwork.com. And subscribe, and you'll get the emails, and you'll see how to join us and where we're going to be. Sometimes we're live in different cities. But most importantly, connect with us because we're resourceful. And if I cannot get the answer, someone in my organization or in the network will be able to lead you guys in the right direction. And I also I offer coaching as well. If you're serious about taking your business or your personal life to the next level, I can show you how. And keep in mind that your audience is not always the one that you're with currently. So just keep that in mind.
That's great information. And guys, I have the link at the top of the screen to contact Mr. Rich and also get your free ebook. And you can also use that link to actually watch the shows. And I've been watching them. They're so good, y'all. That's why I wanted him here today so I could introduce you to him. He's doing great work and it's all free. all we got to do is just click the link and you're in there. And you also have an app they can download, right?
Correct. The name of the app is Mega Source. If you go to the Play Store, it's Mega Source, MEGA Source, and it's the only thing with that name. So download it. You'll get alerts. You'll know when we're on live. And let me tell you, it's a powerful thing. It's African American owned radio station. We're not streaming through TikTok or Twitch. We're actually broadcasting. We share the platform with some of the major networks. So I'm very proud of where we come, and we're looking to grow. So we would love to have you guys join us.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you, Mr. Richard Adams, for being with us on this morning. God bless you. God bless you.
Dr. Bridget, can I ask him a quick question?
Yes, please, if he's available.
Absolutely.
Mr. Richard, have you been to the Max yet in Mississippi?
No. Where's that located?
It's in Meridian, Mississippi, and they do a lot with Mr. Freeman.
Okay. Now I've been to
So kind of check it out.
I will. I've been to Ground Zero. Actually, he invited me to Ground Zero, so I need to look into that. I'll be up there soon. Thank you so much. Bridget, if you can get that information, that would be great. The Max.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, y'all put me to work today.
Yes.
One more thing.
Y'all put me to work. Yes, Robin.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Man of God, my father was very good friends with Sam Cooke. So one of the songs that I'm going to send to you is an arrangement that I did, but it's a change is going to come. But I did the arrangements for the background and the front of the song as well. And I am in Florida. So these songs that I've done, they're short. Some of them are short snippets, but I do have the copyrights to them. And I just wanted to share that with you.
Oh, I would love to hear that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you.
You're welcome. Man,
well, guys, this has been amazing.
Yes.
Somebody else? Ms. Adams, did you want to say something?
No, just saying you have a whole lot of talent here in your room. You guys should get together and do some amazing things. There's a whole lot of extraordinary people here, man. So, yes, a lot of resources, man. So you guys should collaborate and come up with something, because I'm hearing a whole lot of power.
Amen. Amen. And guys, Mr. Adams is new to Clubhouse, so please give him a follow so we can help him build his platform. He also has a house. And if you noticed, I've been sending out invites to you guys so we can, build up his house. So, yeah, and his house, the name of his house is Rich Talk with Rich Live. And he's going to be doing some motivational stuff over there also. So, yay. So let's give him a follow. Amen. Anything else? We don't want to let you go today. Somebody else.
Hello, good morning. May I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Okay, my name is Cheryl, and thank you for allowing me to come upon your platform. But my question is to Mr. Rich. I have, a family of people that are authors and singers. And I'd like to know if you could tell me, do you recognize an it factor that they have it? Or how do you press past the platforms that you already have? We have been able to reach thousands of people over the years, but I know that now we've got a new generations and different things like that, and I just think that we kind of hit a plateau, and I need to know how to get past it. So it's a two question. I need to know when you know that this person has the it factor to push it, and then if you don't think we have the it factor, how do you get past the plateau that you've reached, if that makes sense?
It does. If you have the it factor, how do you know? And then how do you get past it? Well, one of the things is the it factor is determined by the individual.
Okay.
I don't think anyone could really tell you if you have the it factor. That is self-determined. And a lot of people give up their dreams because they go before people and people say, you don't have it. Well,
Right.
well, you're not going before God, right? So if God gave you the gift, then these people are not necessarily one to solidify whether or not you have the it factor. That is an individual thing. So I would never tell anyone whether they have it or not. It's a question of if this audience is conducive to what it is that you offer. So that's the way I would look at that. It's kind of like singing opera just wouldn't do well in an R&B environment, or
Yes.
singing gospel music and secular music probably wouldn't make a great concert, um, depending on how you organize it. So it's about, if you know you have the it factor, then you have to find, like I said earlier, find the right audience for you, period. And no one can do that but you. You have to know who lights up when you do what you do. Who are you a solution for? Who are you healing? Who are you exciting? Who are you entertaining? And that is going to be your audience. And most people make the mistake of pitching a perfect masterpiece to the wrong audience and being discouraged because you're not received on the wrong platform. Find the right platform. That's one. The second part is when you reach that plateau, how do you get beyond that? Most people reach a plateau because they have exhausted probably all means and resources to get to a certain level. That's when you do things like you look for consultation, you look for coaching, you find a way to level up. And what that does for you, I would recommend some level of coaching. And the reason being is because we typically do what we're comfortable doing. So we should connect with someone that's going to push us to be more radical in our behavior, in our gift. And we tend to be more laid back and comfortable. So you kind of need to get to that next level, but you can do that by being radical. And there's a healthy obsession with your gift. If it's a healthy obsession and you're resilient and you have the discipline, the next level is waiting on you. But you have to be radical, resilient, and intentional while you're pursuing that. Block out all the noise. And the noise are the people that tell you no. All you need in life, really, to be extremely successful or successful at all, is one yes. One yes created Michael Jordan. One yes got us LeBron James, Michael Jackson. Somebody said yes, and you only need one. So don't stop.
Okay. Thank you so very much. You all have a blessed day.
You too.
You too. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I don't want to leave anybody out, but we're going to close them. Anybody else? Dr. Tiara is here with us. And Dr. Tiara is a transplant doctor. So, Dr. Tiara, how did you know your purpose? Are you here with us?
Oh, good morning, Sister Bridget and Mr. Richard and everybody on the platform. How did I know my purpose? So I think when I was young, I decided I wanted to be a doctor. Obviously, that went through a lot of changes growing up, but my grandfather had gotten sick with cancer and he had a surgery. And during the operation, he woke up and he heard the surgeons saying some derogatory things about him. And after that episode, it kind of solidified what I wanted to do in life and how I wanted to change outcomes for not just my family, but for our people and disparities and not allowing others to feel the way my grandfather felt during that operation. And so it kind of helped me, I guess, push me towards my purpose or my destiny as a transplant surgeon. Thank you for that question.
Wow. What an amazing
Thank you.
What an amazing story.
I'm sorry.
Amazing story. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Well, guys, I don't want to let him go either. I have so many questions, but y'all know I always have questions. So, anybody else?
I just want to say thank you. Much blessings to you. I don't know, I'm hearing Dr. Richards, but may God richly bless your life. And I'm looking forward to us coming together as the Holy Spirit leads. And I'm just excited for what God is getting ready to do, because I also have procrastinated. I go in and I come back out, and God is saying, now is your time. And He's always confirming. He will always confirm His word. So I just want to say thank you so very much, and may God richly bless you in all of your endeavors and everything that you do. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
I receive that.
And Dr.
Thank you so much.
Guys, don't forget your ebook. Don't forget to click up in the link and grab your ebook. It's really good. Really, really good. Talk to us about your ebook, Mr. Richard.
Oh, yeah. So the ebook is The Mindset of Entrepreneurs. It's a short read, but it's a really good read. It's really easy to read. But at the end, I'm excited about, there's a workbook with some questions and answers that I put in there. And if you could get through that workbook, which is really fun, if you can get through that workbook, you'll know exactly where you are and where you need to be once you get through that ebook. It really, really answers a lot of questions that a lot of folks have, and it puts you in the right mindset of being an entrepreneur and understanding the difference. Like for me, I would leave you with this: if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, there's a difference between being an entrepreneur and being self-employed. Self-employed is what we do in exchange. Time for money. We're exchanging time for money, which means that we're physically tied to something for an exchange for something. That's self-employment. Entrepreneurship, I have a restaurant, I have a radio station, and it is making money without me being present. It is making money when I'm asleep. Entrepreneurships typically have passive income that happens without their present. Self-employment means that you're exchanging something for something. Neither one of them are bad. They're both great. But moving forward, just understand the difference.
Oh wow. y'all have to reach out. I'm telling y'all, I've been with Doctor. Look, I'm calling you Doctor. Mr. Adams since May. And when I tell you my life has changed, y'all, it has changed. Y'all have to reach out to him. I'm telling y'all, it's all for the good. So, Mr. Richard, can you tell us again about the app? Someone has a question. What's the name of the app again?
It's a Mega Source, MEGA Source, and it's basically it's just an app version of the website. Once you download it, you can subscribe, and you'll receive alerts of when we're live, what are we doing, when we're having a remote session, when we're having special guests, and it tells you a lot about what we're doing, and you get to see some of the personalities. And if you're interested, you can become a personality if you have an area of expertise and you like to join our team and just help us expand the network. You could be a sponsor. You can get involved. And we also do advertisements because we have a large listening base, and we're in the United States throughout, but we're also in 7 countries outside the U.S. So you could do some marketing with us. There's just so much low-hanging fruit, and I'm just proud that I can allow this to be a resource for you guys. And most of the things that we offer are completely free, and it can enhance your life in a big way. So please download the app, get involved, and trust me, you won't regret it. We have so many testimonies on how people started listening, and this one lady, she's now a part of my staff. She lost her son about 2.5 years ago, and she just thought life was over. She had a couple of heart attacks, and she was just on a downward spiral. And someone told her to tune in, or she saw the advertisement, and let me tell you, she is now writing songs. She's getting back to herself. She's beautiful, she's powerful, and now she is on tour doing her thing. So just by tuning in, she heard something, and she was connected with someone, and now she's on her way. And that's just one of many testimonies from people joining the network, because these type of conversations are not just being had by me, but there are other personalities and powerhouses that are coming on here doing the same thing. So please become a part. We love to have you.
Thank you so much. And so, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the room. We want to thank Mr. Richard Adams of Megasource Entertainment Network for being with us on today. Thank you so much, Mr. Adams.
Thank you for having me. Thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, and we're going to hopefully have you back really, really soon. How about that?
Looking forward to it.
Yay! Okay, good. Thank you so much. Good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shelly, are you there? I would like for you to pray us out. Sheila may be busy. I was going to go to Natasha, but Natasha going to pretend like she don't hear me. You see, I told y'all. So let's see who we could pray us out. Who want to pray us out? Pastor Marcel, you want to pray? Who want to pray us out?
Evangelist Peacock.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Yahweh, we want to thank you for all that you have let us heard on today. We thank you for the man who came and gave of himself, his time, his resources. We thank you for Queen Bridget and her team for allowing this space in this room. We come here every day and glean, and we learn so much, and we can take things back to be a better person, to be in the marketplace. We thank you for all that we have heard on today. We pray your blessings be upon each and every person that's in this room. We thank you even now that we will come back with testimonies, giving your name the glory and the praise for the man servant have poured out before us and given us resources and so much stuff that we have learned in this room. We thank you, Father. We're such grateful people to be able to come here to get these things, and people give up themselves of their time and things, and they don't always put a price on it, even though they probably could. But we know sometimes it's better to give than receive. So we thank you for the heart of giving to us, your people, Father. And we just want to say thank you, and we love you. And in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. God bless you all. And we're going to see y'all tomorrow morning. We have Dr. Cindy Betts is going to be with us. And she's going to
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. I just was a special edition of Everyday Warrior, Bridget Gibson. Want to thank her for being a host, a wonderful host, and her team and everyone that logged on. So really appreciate that, and appreciate you guys for tuning in. And have a blessed day, and see you guys later on tonight for the On the Ground with Danielle Brown show, okay? Until the next time, Rich Live loves you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. See ya!